Bradford City have confirmed their third signing of the 2025 summer transfer window as experienced defender Joe Wright joins on a 2-year contract upon the expiry of his current deal with Scottish Premiership side Kilmarnock. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in on this signing down in the comment section down below. Out of the 3 additions so far, a player that I've not really heard of much before, don't really know too much about, but obviously he's going to bring some more experience, some more height, some more physicality to this team. All 3 of our signings have been in their 30s, so let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below and let's get straight into it. The article does then read, Bantam snap up Wright. Bradford City AFC is delighted to announce the permanent signing of Joe Wright on a 2-year deal. The defender moves to BD8 with valuable Sky Bet League 1 experience, having ranked up almost 100 games in his time with Doncaster Rovers in the 3rd tier. The 6'4" centre-half arrives from the Scottish Premiership side, where he made 36 appearances in all competitions, including in the Europa League and Conference League qualifiers. Wright was named Kilmarnock's Player of the Year following the 2024-25 season, contributing 2 goals and 2 assists in the league. Upon signing his deal, Wright said, I had a conversation with the manager and Chris Laketti. They did not need to sell the club to me. I was just so excited to come here. Seeing those scenes on the final day and getting the promotion was a real draw for me to join the club. City boss Graham Alexander added, after watching Joe play, meeting him and speaking to a few people, we believe he fits the profile of player and person we want to bring in. He has excellent attributes as a defender and knows the level well. We are all looking forward to working with him, and obviously with him joining from another club. Kilmarnock didn't put an article out, but they did put a tweet out saying, thank you Joe. Joe Wright will depart the club this month as he is set to join Bradford City. Joe's contributions won't be forgotten, especially that goal in Tromsø, although I'm not so sure if that is actually a no. Good luck, Joe. So have a look at a few of the replies from Kilmarnock fans and see what they have to say about it. They're clearly very disappointed that he's leaving, then if they're going to be crying a lot. This is the one that I'm most gutted about, a massive loss. This one hurts. Gutted. Thanks for everything. Wishing you all the best. Sorry to see you go, Big Joe. All the very best for your future. Best of luck. Done well for us. Kilmarnock fans clearly rating very highly, and let's be honest, it can't be worse than the last Kilmarnock centre-half we signed. That was Ash Taylor. Now, like I have previously mentioned, I don't know too much about this edition for us, but what I do know, clearly got the experience, has played a lot of games at this level, and with all of our signings so far, I think all 3 of them have played at least over 100 games at the 3rd tier, which is what we need, because going into next season, we've not had that many players who've played consistent first-team football in League 1, and obviously he's done very well over in Scotland. I know a few people criticise the standard of the Scottish Premiership, apart from your big 2 or 3 teams right at the top, but he's obviously, him and Kilmarnock have done very well to get into the Europa League, to get into the Conference League as well, and obviously 6'4", so again, fits that type of profile that Alexander does like in his defenders. I believe he'll be a big improvement on Neil Byrne. What does this now mean for Paul Huntington though? As obviously we've got Joe Wright and Neil Byrne, who you would expect to play in the middle of the back 3. Curtis Tilt could also do that job as well. I think we're definitely going to need a right centre-back to come in, a starting right centre-back for Bradford City, and then another left centre-back as well, depending on what happens with Kieran Kelly. Obviously he's currently away still on holiday with his fiancée, so I guess we'll hear about his future in the next coming days. Some exclusive news broke, I think it was yesterday as well, from Pete O'Rourke, saying that Sam Walker has agreed a new contract with the club, so I assume his media stuff will come over the coming days. Might be announced tomorrow, might be announced on Monday, but Sam Walker will be remaining a Bantam for at least another season or 2. In terms of how Joe Wright got on last season in the Scottish Premiership, he played 28 league matches, starting 26 of them. I'm not 100% sure on the structure of the Scottish League, but I know that it all breaks up and they end up playing loads of teams over and over again. You have the Old Firm derby like 6 times a season because of just how small the Premiership is. But he played just shy of 2,200 minutes and featured in the Team of the Week on 5 occasions, scored the 2 goals and also contributed to 2 assists, where he did also create the 4 big chances. 70% accurate pass rate, which for a man playing in Scotland isn't awful, with 32% of his long balls being accurate. That's about 1 in 3. In terms of his defensive stats, he kept 6 clean sheets in those 26 starts, which doesn't particularly stand out. He averaged 1 interception per game, 0.9 tackles per game, 2 balls recovered per game, and 7.3 clearances per game as well. No errors which led to a goal or a shot, and did commit the 1 penalty offence. Now, looking at his defensive stats, I wouldn't say they're particularly amazing apart from clearances per game, although that actually doesn't say clearances per game. I assume that's what it means. It can't be just did 7.3 clearances in his entire season. How would you do 0.3 of a clearance? In terms of some of his other statistics, he has a 45% successful dribble rate, so that would tend to show that he's going to play in the middle of that back three. Won 64% of his ground duels and 62% of his aerial duels. I'm impressed by his ground duel win percentage. For a man who's 6'4", I would have maybe have expected him to win a little bit more in the air, but as you know, Scotland is a very physical league. I'll probably say more physical than League Two, very direct in terms of the way that those teams play. He did pick up 5 yellow cards. He also had 2 red cards, and from my understanding, I got it a little bit wrong in the Curtis Tilt video, so he had 2 total red cards is what it means, and one of them was a straight red, one of them was a second bookable offence. So both of our last 2 signings are defenders with not great discipline records from the last season or 2, but as we can see, we know the style of centre-half that we've got here, definitely a man who's going to come in and replace Neil Byrne in the middle of that back three for me. I can't see a 6'4" man who's not amazing on the ball playing right centre-back. I hope we're not going to try and do what we did last season where we kind of shoehorned Neil Byrne on the right side, and ultimately that cost us a lot of goals. And here is how Bradford City's squad is now lining up ahead of the 2025-26 campaign. As you can see, still a lot more business to be done in terms of incomings and outgoings, but it is now slowly filling up nicely, especially in them defensive positions. We knew that obviously we only really had Aidan Baldwin and Neil Byrne, who are definitely going to be here for next season. We've obviously offered a new contract to Kieran Kelly. George Goodman has signed a first-year pro, but seeing the additions of Till and Wright, I would say Joe Wright is probably a solid 7.5 out of 10 signing, maybe an 8 out of 10 as well, just because he's been playing in Scotland. I don't want to overcommit to the signing, so I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. So he is a solid addition for Bradford City. I would still expect a right centre-back to come in and potentially a left centre-back as well, depending on the situation of Kieran Kelly, and maybe another centre-half depending on the futures of Paul Huntington and Neil Byrne as well. Definitely need a right wing-back. Definitely going to need at least 1 left wing-back, potentially 2 if Lewis Richards does move on. Definitely going to need another holding midfielder. Another attacking midfielder would be nice, and definitely need at least 1 more striker, potentially 2 as well, depending on if Ibbotson goes out on loan and we can find a suitor for Tyler Smith. But obviously with the goalkeeping department, now that it has, not officially, but it will happen, that Sam Walker has signed his new contract, we are looking pretty strong in there. I'm looking forward to seeing the likes of Joe Hilton play in pre-season. There's still a lot more departures that I would expect as well. The likes of Tyreek Wright, Clark Adore, Adam Wilson, potentially a loan move as well for Tommy Lee, depending on who does come in through the door. If Alexander's happy to get rid of his captain, player of the year, man who made it into the League Two team this season, then nobody in this squad is safe, because Smallwood was brilliant for us last season. I know a few of you have been in the comments criticising me, saying, why do I keep going on about Smallwood? I'm just making the point. He was very good. As long as we replace him with an adequate addition, I'm fine with that, but they've got to be a big improvement on Richie Smallwood for me. And obviously one of our targets, or rumoured targets, Dean Campbell, looks like he's set to sign for league rivals Northampton, which obviously isn't ideal because defensively he is very, very good. But I'll hold my hands up if I, get it wrong and we end up signing a worldie. That is fine, but as of right now, it does concern me in the manner of Smallwood's departure, and obviously we don't know as of right now who's going to come in and replace him. Is Max Powell going to be his replacement? Have we got something else lined up? Only time will tell. There's plenty of time left in the transfer window. This for me though with Joe Wright, 7.5 out of 10 signing, I don't mind it. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me, and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. 200 likes, as I mentioned at the start of today's video, will be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in on this signing down in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Bradford City signing former Kilmarnock centre-half Joe Wright on a 2-year contract? Our 3rd signing of the window, our 3rd signing in his 30s as well. So hopefully a lot of young players set to come in through the door after that now, because we had a very aging squad last season. Now it only really seems to be getting older. Yes, we've got rid of a few of the more experienced players like your Smallwoods, your Walkers, your Verdane Olivers as well, but we're certainly going with a lot of experience so far, which I don't mind because it's League One experience. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.